Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the grayscale trusts and Bitcoin, and we'll go over the meme stocks a little bit too. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so the first thing I want to bring up, and I'm going to keep pounding the table on this so you guys know, we should have roughly about a year left in this crypto bull run before the eventual crypto bear winter in 2026. So I still think we have a lot of upside to get to, which I'm going to get to in a minute, but I'm still going to bring this up. If you guys want to get early access to the content that we provide to you, then you would need to sign up for a channel membership. It's $25 a month. You can sign up for a channel membership by clicking on the join button below the video. Again, it's entirely optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but timing in crypto is everything, right? So again, if you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. If you do it and you decide you don't want to keep it at some point, you can always cancel whenever you want, as far as I know. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so another disgusting day in the markets. I believe the markets were actually up on the day, or at least flat, or at least maybe the Russell was up. I'm not entirely sure here. Again, I don't usually trade the Russell. I have tried to trade the Russell in futures in the past. It's kind of a pain in the you-know-what to trade the Russell 2000. Gold and silver is okay, but the price swings are pretty huge and they're very volatile. So a bigger stop loss would be needed, which means that there's bigger risk. So generally speaking, we just kind of stick to the NASDAQ and the S&P, but the NASDAQ has been kind of flat, whereas if let's go ahead and click on this real quick, you guys can see the S&P was actually up. Russell was, didn't do so good today. It was kind of flat. And then the Dow Jones was also up. So kind of a mixed market, not great. We want to see all of these going up at the same time. And we're not seeing that as of right now, not yet anyways, but that may change after the holidays. With Thanksgiving, it may even start tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. So couple other things I wanted to go over here was Bitcoin. Again, we don't usually cover this, but we got a death cross here. Do I think this means like a massive, nasty 40% drop is coming? Probably not. Okay. It's a couple of reasons for this. So number one, Bitcoin doesn't usually have major pullbacks in November and December. Okay. At least not as far as I know. So if I go back, actually, I need to go on the weekly here to really show you guys this. So if I go back to 2021, the first pullback that we saw on Bitcoin, the major one, actually did not even happen until January of the post-halving year. Okay. So in the last cycle, the pullback was pretty large, but again, it didn't happen until January. So roughly about 31%. And then again, we didn't see another big correction until February. Which leads me to believe that Bitcoin's true, if it's going to be a double cycle peak or double peak cycle, which technically, I guess, with the 8-month consolidation we had, if we just have one more peak, it could technically be considered a double peak. So if you measure it by that standard, maybe we'll say a triple peak cycle. But if we are to see 2 more additional peaks, my guess is the first of those 2 or 3, however you want to define it, probably not going to happen until January. I'm actually, even if this is a red candle, I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go up higher. And not, when I say a sizable pullback, I'm not talking about like this little itty bitty thing we got here of 8%. Okay, 8% is nothing for Bitcoin. The pullbacks on Bitcoin by themselves, not including altcoins, could be absolutely disgusting. Okay, they could be like 20, 30, 40% pullbacks on Bitcoin. Again, I don't think that's going to happen until probably at least January of next year. Maybe not even January. I mean, we may not even get a pullback then. Maybe we get one in February. Of course, there is an alternative here. Maybe we do get a big pullback right now, like 20, 30% right now. And then mid-December, boom, we start popping off, and January is just straight up. Okay, that could happen too. But that would signify an accelerated cycle. And based on the 8-month consolidation we just had, I would say likely we're probably not going to get an accelerated cycle. So yeah, anyways, this is drawn out. I didn't mean to go this long with it, but basically I'm pretty much expecting Bitcoin to hold here kind of at the support zone. Again, there is this pennant pattern, which it did break out of. It has not hit the target yet. So The pennant pattern could also hold too at about 92,000, but worst case scenario, maybe 86.6 to about just shy of 91,000 as support here. The other reason I think likely we're not even close to a top is, well, not just for Bitcoin, but for the altcoins too, is because we have not seen a breakdown yet of this huge, monstrous, just absolutely ridiculous rising channel, rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. Either in this case, either one is bearish. Okay, as it goes up, that means Bitcoin is in control. And as it falls off a cliff, like we saw back here, this would be falling off a cliff. I'd consider that to be like a dump. We're not seeing a dump in Bitcoin dominance. So what we're seeing now could be the start of alt season. But until we get out of this white line and this box here, I would say Bitcoin is still fully in control. Okay. But we do have a death cross here on the whatever you want to call this, the Bitcoin dominance, and a potential double top right here on the daily. That could be an early sign of maybe a alt season coming. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. But as of right now, it's still within the kind of Bitcoin control zone, so to speak. All right, so enough of that. Right, the memes. So here's another reason why I think meme season's right around the corner, okay? And again, we were a little early. We had our expiration, unfortunately, on GME a little bit early. Probably should have put that out further. Lesson learned. For the call debit spread, that's fine. We made it up on the back end with other trades on the call debit spread. So at the worst case scenario, we were basically break even on that. So yeah, GME is looking pretty damn good. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, but we've had literally 5 weeks of green. I'm going to have to do some research, find out what's going on here. I do personally follow GME and AMC, just so y'all know. So I'm usually pretty up to date with these things, just have not been as of lately. But I mean, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we're looking pretty bullish on these indicators. Got all the golden crosses. The golden cross on the EMA's happened back here, but then again, we retested and we are now lifting off. 5 weeks of green, definitely nothing to scoff at, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good here on the daily too. This is just looking ridiculous. And we have a break of structure too. Okay, so we got a break of structure here. Looks like we're about to get one right here as well for a continuation of the bull trend. And AMC has been going up too, just so y'all know. So it appears that they just had earnings and they actually beat earnings, which, Wall Street loves that. Wall Street loves, I'll tell you guys this about Wall Street. They love cash flow positive companies. I've been telling you guys this for eons. GameStop and AMC are going to make a comeback, in my opinion, because of the Fed cutting rates. Okay. Why? Because these are discretionary things. Okay. Movies and games, they're discretionary. People love to go out and spend money on stuff they don't need. Okay. Including movies and games. Everybody loves to go to the theaters with their kids or play on their PlayStation 5 or their Xbox or whatever, with their kids, with their families, friends, all that jazz. These companies are going to benefit massively as it becomes cheaper to borrow money. Okay. And if they're making moves when money is cheaper, well, I mean, I literally don't need to say anything more about this. Okay. And the other reason I wanted to bring this up, and then we'll get into the trusts, is because of this huge, and I'll cover this more in depth in a separate video, this huge indicator right here, okay? The monthly MACD golden cross. We've only seen this just a couple of times before, okay? And we are almost oversold on AMC on the monthly. Last time this happened, the markets got absolutely stupid, okay? Usually when these things hit oversold, well, in this case, this was actually a fake out. I mean, this is a pretty big move up from 2017. It wasn't small by any means, it's 65%. But this one right here, which was lined up perfectly with the massive alt season. Again, this lines up with crypto, okay? With the massive alt season, we saw stupid gains, 4,500%, okay? And we're seeing AMC and GME come back. Long story short, I do want to make this point that likely AMC, GME are going to moonshot with the crypto bull run. That's inevitable because, again, these are meme stocks for now at least. Although it looks like that may change soon with the Fed cutting. So they're going to benefit with the meme crypto coins like Dogecoin and Floki and Shiba Inu and Cock Inu and all those things, right? Okay, so let's get into the trust now. I'm not going to go over the monthly time frame here. We'll just go over the weekly as we usually do. So still looking good on LTCN. Again, I suppose these numbers would look a little different if we were talking about the daily, but we cover the weekly for a reason because again, it's if you miss the forest for the trees in these crypto markets, if crypto investors, most retail traders think about like day to day, okay? They think about like, oh, is it going up today? You know, they wake up in the morning at 4 a.m, and of course, I'm guilty of doing this too, believe it or not. But you know, most retail traders, and when I say I'm guilty of doing this too, I'm talking about getting up at 4 a.m to check portfolios, okay? But most retail traders make this huge mistake because again, they're ill-informed about the crypto space. They don't know about cycle timing, all this kind of stuff. But they make this huge mistake with missing the forest for the trees, okay? They look at smaller time frames like the hour, 4 hour daily. Traders do this too, that's fine, but most retail people get into the space because they heard from some friend of theirs or something like that, like, oh, these things are going up, man. We're just gonna invest all our money and sell my house, sell my kids, sell my cat, sell my job, sell my boss, sell my neighbor's wife, all that kind of jazz. Just sell everything, right? Sell it all, get into crypto, and just wait for it to rocket to the moon. And they're just completely ignorant about it. I mean, it sounds great, but it's better to understand what's going on here from a 10,000 foot view. Again, the reason why we're taking all things into consideration right now is because unfortunately, the Fed is a factor right now that has to be taken into consideration. I think they're not going to be a factor when Trump gets elected, or not elected, when he gets inaugurated. Okay, I've told you guys this 1,000 times. The Fed's going to drop to zero. Okay, they are. I don't see a situation where the Fed is expecting to keep their job, and they're just not going to drop to zero. But the point I want to make here is this. Okay. These things that you're seeing on these grayscale trusts, I refer to them as a pullback in time. Now, this would be a reverse pullback in time. Usually a pullback in time would be like a sideways or slightly down, like on Bitcoin. In this case, it's sideways and slightly up, okay? But it's all the same. Do I think it's going to dump out of here to the downside? Probably not. I mean, I spent a lot of time getting this MACD RSI golden cross, kind of building the support here. I would say the likelihood this thing is actually going to drop, probably not. If it does drop, it'll be because of paper hands, because retail has no confidence in the position they got into that they initially had confidence in. I can tell you guys right now, we had a absolutely disgusting day on our portfolio, unfortunately, because of Bitcoin's drop and the miners pulling back. But have we sold our positions? No. We still have the same amount of Coney. We still have the same amount of CLSK. We actually added a little bit to it. We still have AMC. We still have Soxel. All these positions that we had, we still have them. Look, we've seen these moves 1,000 times, okay? Soundhound. Let's see. I can literally go over a list of stocks that in some cases we had to hold to wait for a profit, but they did eventually go back into profit. Okay, we could have added more, but we didn't. We just held them, and then eventually they went into profit. Soundhound was one of them. You guys that have been following this channel for a long time, you would know what we're talking about here, okay? Soundhound was one of them. American Airlines, with call debit spreads, we had to wait for those for a while. Snap and American Airlines, those played out nicely. Wayfair played out nicely. GME, not so much. AMC, we've been sitting on this position for months and months and months. Has not gone up yet. Are we stressing about it? Not really, okay? ALT, I don't know where that one is. There it is right there. ALT, we sat on that one forever. Eventually it went up. We sold for profit, and we had to wait months and months and months and months and months for that one. In the case of the altcoins that we had to wait literally 2 years. Okay. So, again, it's impossible to know when these are going to go up, but I did want to show you guys this one more time. Okay. Sometimes timing and patience is more important, in my opinion, than positioning. Okay. Sometimes these positions are not going to play out immediately. Like CLSK, we thought it would have went up by now. It hasn't gone up yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to. Okay, it probably will. Just got to be patient. So 112 days LTCN here. I want to reiterate this again for a reason. Okay. So over here we have 62 days before it eventually went up, right? Kind of chopped sideways, the same pattern we saw before, pull back in time. But to the upside, looks like about 77 days. Actually, if I measure the entire sideways move that you guys can see here from the time that it actually topped out to the time that it actually broke those highs, the full amount of time here would have been 154 days. So, yeah. Am I surprised this thing hasn't moved yet? Not really. I mean, it did just come off a huge move. This was $3 to $54. That's not a small move. That's like a 15x. So yeah, not really surprised. Okay, so anyways, and besides, a large majority of this move that was down anyways happened during Bitcoin's pullback in time and consolidation. So that's to be expected, right? Litecoin is an oscillator to Bitcoin, so it only makes sense that that would happen. Okay, so all right, 12 to, I'd say 12 about 17 is going to be that buy area if you're worried about it. The lower bound here is $6 to $8 or $7 to $8. That could be even a better opportunity if you don't want to buy in here. You want to wait for down here. Okay, fair enough. So 25 to 27 and then all the way up to 54 would be targets. Best case scenario, 316%. Worst case scenario, 690%. Again, the all-time high for LTCN is $510. BCHG retesting this inverse head and shoulders. Gap got filled here, as you guys can see. The target for the inverse head and shoulders, I don't remember actually what that is because we took that off. So from the breakout point, it actually would have been right about 1030. So right about the bottom of that resistance that did actually get filled, and then it came back and pulled back and went down. I mean, it's not going up, doesn't mean it won't. So, of course, you guys probably already know that a lot of the altcoins we have also pulled back, okay? So, AIOZ was at like 85 cents. Now it's at 76 cents. Dash was at like, I think, $38. Now it's at $34. Let's see, Render was over $8. Now it's down to $7.50. So, it's not like these things are not all pulling back, okay? All of them are pulling back. Okay, so buy zones for BCHG, I would say probably anywhere from 530 to about 590 at this point. So you got roughly about 10.5 to 1250, and then all the way up to 24. Of course, we also got to get above the EMAs at some point too in order to actually flip this into a bull trend. So 305% gain here. And again, the break of structure that we're looking for here in order to turn bullish again is above $9. Okay, once we get above there, it's game over. That could literally happen like that. This is crypto. Don't think for a second that couldn't happen. So HZEN 350 to 4.25. We got 690 here to about 10.5. So maximum move here would be roughly about 200% gain. ETCG. This one's looking pretty good. This is an example right here of exactly what to expect when this does happen. Again, look, I want to point this out to you, okay? 112 days, ETCG went sideways and down before it went up, right? And we've been sitting on our position this whole time. We still have not sold. Back here, 84 days. Back here during this time, oh man, you guys would have hated this. Oh, you would have absolutely hated this. Look at this. Okay, if I take from the time that we got down to kind of this level right here at $7, this thing did not break out from that level until right about this candle right here. 357 days. You guys would have absolutely hated that. If you guys hate waiting during the bull run, you're really going to hate it during the bear market. Only the patient, those who are willing to stay through the bear market, really truly do ultimately deserve the rewards of making money in crypto. Because they get in at the cheapest prices, they are the most patient, and they ultimately have the patience. If they have the patience to wait through the bear market for the lowest prices, they have the patience to wait through the bull market for the highest prices to get out for the most profit. All right, so yeah, we haven't closed above this line right here, so I would still say maybe a pullback into anywhere between 1060 to kind of that 1290. I'd be looking for as targets 16 to 20 bucks, basically buy zones, and then 16 to 20 bucks would be the targets here. 89% move, ETH. Same thing. So pull back into the EMA. So anywhere from 24.50 to I'd say 28.50, potentially a good buy. 52, 53 would be the target. 120% gain. GBET. Yeah, still going sideways, still bobbing around. Again, we've seen this before. Okay, this one was not as long because, again, as these things get more explosive, the amount of time that it spends in sideways chop is a smaller period of time. As you guys can see here, they generally get smaller, but when they're not going anywhere, they generally last a lot longer. Gee, imagine that. But eventually they do break out. That's kind of the point I want to make here. So, all right, so we got 450 to 510 here. And then we have roughly about 8 to 32. Measured move here is 630% gain. Fill G, file G. We do not have this one, and it was still green on the day, which means that, yeah, these markets are not dependent on whether we're in the positions or not to go up or down. They have gone up or down regardless of whether we have them. Look, it's just a matter of timing. I literally cannot even, as much experience as I have doing this, I cannot tell you guys the hour of the day that these are going to go up 100, 200, 500%. Okay, I don't know. We can only kind of base our thesis on the general direction based on technical analysis. That's what we do. But we can't tell you the future. Okay, we don't know when these are going to go up. They could go up tomorrow, 1,000%. They could go up over the next month, 1,000%, or 2 months. We'll just have to wait and see. So, Fill G, got to get above these EMAs or File G, whatever you want to call it. 35 to 43 here at support. 400 is going to be the ultimate highs. 1,030%. GLIV, so same thing as before. I'll say roughly about the 670 to 12 and a quarter would be the kind of buy area. The target up here would be 80. Just shy of 1,000%. G-Link. Yeah, I'd say anywhere between the EMAs and probably the top of the zone up here. So maybe about 59 to 84 could be a good buy area. The target would be 220. Yeah, that's pretty good. So 300% gain. GSOL. I will say that there does appear to be maybe potentially a bear flag here. Again, this is a bearish pattern. But I'm not saying this to freak y'all out. I'm just, look, we're just being real on this channel. Okay, if it's bullish, it's bullish. If it's bearish, it's bearish. Do I think the grayscale trusts are bearish? No, I do not. I just think they haven't had their time in the sun yet. But is this actually going to play out as bear flag? Probably not. Probably not, because again, when you're long, these things can only go to zero. They cannot go negative, but when you're short, the loss potential is infinite. So remember that. You can lose way more money than the amount you put in as a bear than you ever could as a bull. So do I think this is going to play out according to its target on the bear flag? No, I don't. Whether it's going to break down out of this or not, I don't know. Look, I'll just tell you guys what I think would be a good area if I was going to buy this. Roughly about 84 to somewhere between 84 to 170 is what I'd be looking at. So 290 to 580 would be the potential targets here. Best case scenario, about 630% gain, GXLM. Big fat red day after some green, that's to be expected. Same thing with Bitcoin and the alts. Am I surprised? No. Have we been adding to it? Yes. Look, our bags are filled. Okay, if we do, I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. If we get the targets that we're looking for, we will make enough money to retire for good. Okay, we will not have to work anymore. If we add $0 more, not even another penny to crypto, we're good. Okay, our bags are full, they're stacked. We're just waiting for the targets that we're looking for to be hit. We'll go over that in a separate video. But anything that extra that we choose to add going forward at this point in time will just be icing on the cake. And we didn't even get our positions fully in the bear market at the absolute lows either. That's the great thing about it. If you learn to get in at the right prices and you get enough in at the right prices, you're good. All you got to do is wait. At least that's my opinion. So GXLM here, support zones. If there is going to be a pullback, maybe fill that gap down there. So somewhere around maybe 26.5 to maybe, I'd say about 32, 33, somewhere in there. Targets here, 53 to roughly about 70 or 69. 69. All right, so 155% gain here. Meta. Nice little potential double bottom, triple bottom. That's a very bullish pattern. 1, 2, 3 bottoms here, right around the same level. That is extremely bullish. As a matter of fact, we saw something similar here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then it took off like a rocket. Okay. The difference is we don't actually have a zone here per se. We kind of just have like a little level. I don't know how to explain this. So these things usually line up pretty well at some point. So if I drag this back, you guys can kind of see, again, it's not going to line up perfectly exactly straight, but you guys can kind of see this level has been very heavily traded around. So yeah, this could be this pattern right here repeating right here, and it just hasn't played out yet. So buy zones, I'd be looking right around, I'd say maybe anywhere between 7 to 10, potentially as a pullback area if you didn't get it before. Targets ranging anywhere from 17.15 to 70.5. If you guys don't believe me about the triple bottom thing, 825% gain here, just go look up chart patterns, triple bottom, triple top, and you'll understand. Okay, a triple bottom is a bullish pattern, triple top is a bearish pattern. I'm literally not making this stuff up. Okay, this is classic TA. There's plenty of all levels of different traders and investors that use these. It's been time tested, all that kind of stuff. So Zcash buy zone still the same, about 3.15 to about $6. Targets here 8 to 10.25. 215% gain. I will tell you guys this. We don't really use like triple tops, triple bottoms. We kind of I don't want to go too deep into this, but we use there are certain patterns and candles that we look for to kind of gauge where things are going to go in confluence with some of the indicators. But again, that's kind of a TA video. That's not really for this video. So, but triple bottom and triple top is not one that we usually use because it's not really that common. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.